deep dive. Pauly and Teddy, AFC East. The champs tomorrow. Today it's the Miami Dolphins. Win total 7 over 150 in some spots, or 7.5. Last year, 10-6 straight up, made the playoffs. 9-7 ATS, 12-4 to the over. They got off to a slow start, and they came on the rest of the season after the slow start behind Gase. Mainstream stats: 25 takeaways, 23 giveaways, +2 margin. Pretty much league average. Offense, 5.8 yards per play. Top 10 in the NFL. 4.5 yards per rush. That's 8th. 7.5 yards per pass. That was 7th. The defense, 88.8 QB rating allowed, middle of the pack. 33 sacks, right around league average. 4.8 yards per rush allowed, tied with the 49ers for dead last. Offensive needs, offensive line, and the defense. Remember, Teddy, this team was night and day. They had all those injuries on the offensive line. When they were healthy, the running game was there and they won games. When the guys were hurt, they couldn't protect, they couldn't run the ball, and they weren't a very good team.
Yeah, I mean, some of that was certainly schedule related, and we'll talk a lot about Miami's schedule in this 2007 preview. But, when you talk about those offensive numbers, remember, Gase came in as a guy, he's an offensive mind, he's a guru. And you look at the numbers, top 10 in yards per play, top quartile, top 8 in yards per rush, top 7 in yards per pass. They were number 9 in sacks allowed. So, I mean, basically, the offense did everything it was supposed to do a season ago. The defense, not so much. The pass defense had problems. The pass rush was mediocre. And against the run, they got eaten up. But in the offseason, what did they want to do? They wanted to shore up the offensive line. They wanted to get the defense together. And the bottom line result from the offseason, they signed a bunch of their own key free agents. They added a couple of guys, and they made some changes in the coaching staff. Let's talk about that here.
Yep, you got Gase, who's back, Clyde Christensen, the OC, who's back, Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, is head coach with the Broncos now. So now you have a new defensive coordinator the last 3 years in Matt Burke, linebacker coach last year, previously in Detroit and Cincinnati. So that could be something, too, that they have to deal with again. O-line looks pretty good on paper heading to OTAs this week. You have Tunsil and James locked in at left and right tackle. Larson and Bushrod are the front runners at left and right guard. Pouncey at center once he feels comfortable back from rehab. That's something to pay attention to. And so far, so good on Tannehill, as he had the knee injury. He missed the playoff loss of the Steelers. He got hurt late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, one thing Miami's going to have this year that they didn't really have last year, they should have, is a little bit of depth on the offensive line. They've got Craig Urbick, who they took in the draft last year. They have the rookie Isaac Asiata. They have Anthony Steen. So you're talking about a guy, 6 of the 8 key linemen were all with Miami last year. So there's some continuity there. And, Pouncey is a big question mark. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. And there are still concerns about the interior of that offensive line, but at least this Miami team has some options should Pouncey get hurt again in 2017. And you talk about Tannehill, so far so good when it comes to his rehab, but free agent signings, there have been some pretty busy offseasons for the Dolphins in recent years. This past offseason for free agency wasn't one of them, Pauly. A handful of key guys getting signed.
They got an Anthony Fasano, brought him in, tight end from Tennessee. They traded for Julius Thomas, got him from Jacksonville, and they also picked up Timmons, linebacker from the Steelers. Top 3 picks: Charles Harris, pass rushing stud, and a linebacker in McMillan as well. Now, let's get into it. 10-6 last year, made the playoffs. Everyone's in love with their head coach. Why's the win total 7?
Real simple, but just real quick, I just want to go back to the free agents. The duo of Fasano, who was the number 1 non-offensive line run blocker last year, according to some of the advanced metric stats. And then the pass catcher, Julius Thomas, who played under Gase in Denver. That's a nice duo at tight end. You talk about a guy like Lawrence Timmons from Pittsburgh, who should have been an immediate impact in terms of leadership. And then in the draft, top 3 picks, you get a pass rushing stud, you get a linebacker, you get a very athletic cornerback in Cordrea Tankersley. Big moves defensively for Miami, hoping to pay dividends. Then we talk about the strength of schedule. Look, last year they were 10-6 in a playoff team. It was all about the schedule. Look at the wins they had last year. They had the Browns. They beat the Jets twice. They beat the Bills twice. They beat the Rams. They beat the Niners. They beat the Chargers. They beat Arizona late when they had no chance. Note the commonality among all those 9 victories. They're coming against teams that didn't make the playoffs. The signature win came against the Steelers at home. And remember, that was a game that Big Ben came back too early. He wasn't right. So the wins they had last year were on the easy side. The schedule they had last year, one of the easiest in the NFL. And oh, by the way, they won just about every close game. 8-2 straight up in games decided by a touchdown or less, including a pair of wins in overtime. Luck was on their side. So here's a team that won 10 games last year, Pauly. You look at the strength of schedule this season, night and day, Paul, night and day. The strength of schedule jump based on 2017 win totals is the biggest toughness jump in the entire NFL. The AFC East faces the NFC South and the AFC West. Those are 2 tough divisions. You have the Panthers, Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. 7 of those 8 teams are all lined at 8 wins or higher. San Diego at 7.5. So no weaklings there. There are 2 extra games at Baltimore and then Tennessee. No easy games there. So you look at the winnable games on Miami's schedule. You say, yeah, they play the Jets twice. They play the Bills twice. And then, that's why this team's lined at 7 or 7.5. Tough slate for Gase and company in 2017. Noticeably tough. Even, we're just talking about preseason and preseason power ratings. In this case, they're meaningful.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.